This is Veda from Zephyr Lake Carmelite Mission. Today we are going to continue with the lessons on formation as a lay Carmelite. Today's lesson is lesson number 5, Living the Carmelite Way, the rule for the third order of Carmel. I highly recommend this little booklet. It is available in the Carmelite gift store at laycarmelite.com, and it gives the official approved rule for third order of Carmel, which was approved in 2003 and went into effect on December 8th, 2003. It was approved by Pope John Paul II on April 11th, 2003. And this has basically 3 parts. We have the spirituality and charism for third order, and then the general statutes and the structure, the organization of the third order, and about membership and formation. And in the appendix, you have the rule of St. Albert as it was written between 1206 and 1214 and mitigated by Pope Innocent IV in 1247. So that is also in this booklet, which you can get from the Carmelite office. So essentially, with respect to the spirituality and charism, if I have to summarize it, it is seeking the kingdom of God by engaging in temporal affairs and directing them to the plan of God. So we are not removing ourselves from this world, but we are not going to live our lives as if we are of this world. But we are going to enclose ourselves in the kingdom of God and continue to live in this world. So through our life, we can sanctify this world and the people we meet, and all our tasks that we perform is sanctified through our prayer life. And we also make promise of poverty, but it is a poverty which is to strive to live more simple life and free from obsessions and with an excessive preoccupation with material concerns. And we also make a promise of obedience to our general structure of our Carmelite order. And we also make a promise of chastity according to the state of our life. So which means we live out the teachings of the church with respect to chastity. If we are married, we are faithful to the married partner. And if we are not married, we live a chaste life. And that is, so most of these requirements and the spirituality and the charism, what I have observed, are things that you would normally observe in somebody who's living a good Christian life. So it should not be too difficult for the person to come into the community and be fortified and strengthened and be encouraged in their life, which they are most likely already living. Of course, the prayer life is important. So as we said, the Eucharist and Liturgy of the Hours, and then the Lectio Divina, praying the Rosary every day, and also having the inspiration of Elijah and Mary, and also having ability to have a love for neighbors. So within the community, we are supposed to live in peace and harmony with the community. So that is also important as part of our spirituality. So we grow in holiness not only as individuals, but also in our love for neighbor and our love for God. And with respect to the chain of authority, the way we are organized, we have a prior general for the order. Now the prior general is for the first order of the friars, the second order of the nuns, as well as for the third order. We have one prior general. And the prior general and his council usually are in Rome. and then there is a prior provincial, and then we have a provincial delegate for the third order. And then sometimes there's also the associate delegate in case a provincial delegate, needs additional help. Then we have a provincial coordinator. Now this person is usually a layperson who's also a third order member. And in our case, it is a layperson, it's a woman. And then sometimes we have regional coordinator, regional formation coordinator. In our particular region here, we don't have one, at least I don't know if we have one. I've only met the provincial coordinator. And then you have the community director. Now the community director has the most important role because the person has the leadership to organize and run the community or the group. And then she or he is supported by a council of members who help the community to function properly. So this is kind of the general structure. We'll cover more of the general statutes and structures in the next chapter in lesson 6. And communities cannot be randomly established. Communities are established canonically with the approval of the prior general and his council in Rome, and also with approval from the prior provincial and also the local bishop. So there's a lot of, it's very structured. And all the formation for the members are based on international guidelines, and all the formation materials must align with the Catechism of the Catholic Church as well as with Vatican II. However, we know that the rules are the same for all the three orders, the first, second, and third. The basis of the rule of St. Albert is there, but how we live it out is modified based on lay people who are part of the third order. And formation, as we already covered in lesson 1, starts with phase 1, which is 12 months. Then phase 2, there's 24 months, after which there is a first profession. After the phase 1, there is a reception, and then after that, phase 2, you have a 24 months of formation and then a first profession, and then there is a 36 months of discernment before the final profession. So that's kind of summarizes the formation. So we can cover more of the statutes and the structure of the third order in the next chapter. But the most important thing for us to remember is that the prayer of the Carmel is not to separate the Carmelite from the church, but rather to bring the Carmelite closer to the church and to merit the church. So our prayer life is for the benefit of the church and not to separate us as something unique or different. It's just our charism is prayer. So everybody has different charisms. No church has so many orders and so many charisms. The charism of the Carmelites is prayer. So that's all I wish to share for this particular lesson. I hope you have a blessed day. And